A dark, quiet suburban neighborhood. The wind howls softly. The camera moves slowly toward a dimly lit street where a lone figure stands beneath a flickering street lamp. The camera zooms in slightly, revealing only the outline of a hooded figure, unmoving. Some urban legends are born from whispers. Others from missing persons reports. But this one has witnesses. And I was one of them. A dashcam recording plays on a laptop screen, showing an empty road at night. The timestamp blinks, June 14, 2023, 2:43 a.m. The screen reflects in Ethan's wide, tired eyes as he watches. Ethan, it was late. Too late to be working, but money was tight. Just one last ride. Just one more fare. That's what I told myself when the request popped up. Willow Creek. A bad idea at that hour, but I was too tired to care. Ethan sighs and cracks his knuckles before accepting the request. The map directs him to a dimly lit side street. The roads are nearly empty this time of night, the glow of neon signs from bars and diners casting long, flickering reflections on the pavement. He takes a sip of his now cold coffee, the bitterness making his tired brain jolt slightly. Ethan, muttering to himself, should have just gone home. A notification pings. The app confirms his pickup, unknown. A common glitch, but something about it unsettles him. The car pulls up beside a lone man on the sidewalk. Ethan leans over, unlocking the door. The passenger stands still for a few seconds, as if deciding whether to get in. Ethan, hey, man. You waiting for a ride? Passenger, softly, almost too quiet to hear, yes. Thank you. The man enters the vehicle, his movements slow, deliberate. The interior light flickers as he sits down. Ethan frowns slightly, glancing at him through the rearview mirror. The man's hoodie is damp, the fabric darkened in spots as if he had been standing in the rain. But the sky had been dry all night. Ethan, something about him felt wrong. He didn't just get in the car. He settled into it, like he had been sitting there forever. And the smell, damp, like old wood. Like the inside of an attic no one had stepped into for years. Ethan checks the rearview mirror again. The man's head is slightly tilted down, the hood shadowing most of his face. Ethan, you got a drop-off location? Ethan taps the screen of his phone. The destination is still blank. Silence. Then, the man's voice, dry and hollow, passenger, just drive. The GPS reroutes unexpectedly, leading Ethan down a road he doesn't recognize. The streetlights grow fewer, the darkness between them stretching longer. Ethan, looks like there's a detour. Weird, never seen this road before. You sure this is the way? The passenger doesn't respond. He sits eerily still, his head slightly tilted downward. Ethan grips the wheel, feeling the weight of silence settle in the car. Ethan, most people at least nod. Give me a grunt. Anything. But this guy? Nothing. I started to feel my chest tighten. I adjusted my mirror to get a better look at him. The man's hoodie shifts slightly, revealing the curve of his jawline, pale, too pale for someone who should have been outside just moments ago. Passenger, whispering, suddenly, do you know where you're going? Ethan flinches. The question sends a shiver up his spine. Ethan, forcing a chuckle, yeah. Just following the GPS. We should be there in about 10 minutes. Silence again. Ethan taps his fingers on the wheel. He turns up the radio slightly, filling the space with soft static from a late-night talk station. But the voice on the radio garbles into something incoherent, then a high-pitched whine. Ethan, what the hell? The radio cuts out. The GPS screen flickers. Then, static. A faint crackling sound from the radio. Then static. The GPS screen flickers, the route recalibrating to a blank screen. Ethan's breath quickens. Ethan exhales sharply, rubbing his temples. When he glances in the mirror again, the backseat is empty. Ethan, panicked. No. He slams on the brakes. The car jerks. He turns around, breathing heavily. The seatbelt in the backseat is still fastened. The air in the car has changed. It is heavier, suffocating. His ears ring slightly, as if pressure is building inside the cabin. Ethan, I felt sick. Like my stomach had just turned itself inside out. My heart was hammering in my chest, but I wasn't even sure if I was breathing anymore. A whisper slides through the silence. Passenger, whispering directly into Ethan's ear, drive. Ethan gasps and whips his head around. The man is there again. Sitting in the back seat, exactly where he had been before. But now, his hood is down. His face is stretched, unnatural. His skin, gray. His lips, too thin. His eyes, hollow, But not empty. Something inside them swirls, like dark water spiraling downward. Ethan, trembling, voice barely above a whisper. Who? What are you? The man doesn't answer. Instead, he slowly raises his hand, a single, bony finger pointing forward. Passenger, keep driving. Ethan's foot presses down on the gas pedal, against his will. The car accelerates. The road is endless, the darkness swallowing the headlights. The speedometer climbs. 80. 90. 100. Ethan, crying out, straining to pull his foot back. I can't stop. The speed keeps rising. The world outside blurs. And then, the road ends, a wall of darkness rushes toward them. Ethan screams. And then, static. A lone streetlight flickers in the distance. A dark silhouette stands beneath it. The camera zooms in. And the screen cuts to black. If you see him, don't stop. Don't blink. Just keep driving.